Okay, hey there guys. So in this war, we're up against MIBR. Um, so while I'm boosting here, I put on the 6-hour boost because I knew I was going to be having to take my fights in a couple sections because I actually had a fair few fights this time and I needed to be able to like do some stuff. Because as this war was going on, I was at my friend's birthday party and they're just like, I'd get a tag, I'm like, oh, they need me to go right now. And I'll show you when that gets really bad later. Right here is that like early on in the thing, so I just was able to like sneak away for a little bit. I was like, sorry, I gotta go for a minute. So I have this Havoc here. I did a lot of duels to get my heavy distancing down, just to make sure it was a very easy spacing. Plus, now that I'm duped with my Nimrod, I gain so many armor ups on the parry, and right there it switches over to the poison, so I just go and throw my SP2 with 12 armor ups. And that brings him down to 10%. I was told it was supposed to kill him, so I'm mad at the person who told me that was going to kill. Maybe if I had a slightly higher sig, I guess it kills. Maybe it's at 200, I don't know. Maybe if it's at 200, it does finish it off, but like I'm fairly boosted. I have full suicides. It's not like I skimped out there. And now I have another fight here with Nimrod, and if I'm remembering correctly, I do play this how you're supposed to, and I actually... I parry heavy. I don't like throw full combos into him, which is how this fight's supposed to go. Unlike some of the other fights I've done on other like that Weapon X I did a while ago. So right here, yeah, I go for the parry heavy because I know I'm against a Sauron, so I don't care if I actually eat an incinerator too. I really want to build up a couple armors here, which is why I'm playing it slow. So I get up to the 12. I remove his prowess, so I'm doing a ton, and then I'm doing an 8k shock tick. I don't even get off the final beam by the time he's done. That fight is that fast. Which, that's what I was saying for that Weapon X. If I'd had a duped Nimrod for that Weapon X a couple wars ago, I think it was for Loki, I assume it would have looked a little bit more like that. But I have a duped now, so that's what matters. So I was checking to make sure I had my pre-fights on because I feel like I can do this fight without Horsemen. If I was told I had to do this fight with no Horsemen, I would feel fine. But I need that white mags. Like, that's what makes this fight so doable. And I'm going to throw on an invulnerability boost. Man, I'm running so low on those boosts right now because we're at the end of the season. I really need off-season so I can build them back up because I am desperately low right now on them. It's very bad. So I switched to the invul here because I don't need the Power Start 1 for Archangel. And I've seen people get SP3 by Mordo here, and because of the prowess, it just kills you. And the issue with the reason why he can get SP3 is because his power gain buff doesn't apply to Power Focus 1. Passive power gains when you're on Power Focus nodes bypass it, actually. So his heavy charging and both of his heavy charging and the power gain buff that he gets would be enough to potentially push him to SP3, right? Because like I got him up to SP2 pretty easily here. And if he were to have, let's say, triggered MD against me, and then he gets the power gain buff, and I get an SP3 with like 5 prowess, that's really not good. I had to wait for someone to take the Apocalypse there. Looking back on it, I was kind of shocked I wasn't assigned the Apocalypse, considering I had Nebula, because I think we also used a Nebula for it. So I was a bit surprised when I saw that again. I was waiting somewhere, trying to rush through these fights, and I'm just panicking, like, can someone please take it faster, are you here? Or did I come on for nothing? I was a bit manic when I was... Or not manic, I was a bit annoyed, I guess maybe you could say. I don't know what the right word is. This Doom was absolutely shredded. There's not much to that fight. Once you get the first neurotoxins on, and really as long as you don't get clipped very early into the fight, so that way you don't get like the shock and you don't get all that stuff on you, it's fine. Sorry about that. Here for this Omega Sentinel is the reason I actually brought in the Nebula, and so I have to put on the advanced power boost because that's pretty much the only reason she's playable in war, in my opinion, is you get the advanced power boost and you get usually a Proxima with her, and she's so fast for war fights. But you'll see what she does here so easily. I do that first parry so I have enough time to build up those first couple ones for free pretty much. And now I'm just trying to hold block as hard as I can, as funny as that sounds. And I'm able to build up to the 12 pretty quick before she gets too many armors, because really you want to get your I would say I wanted to get to like 7 before she had the 5 armors, because I don't want her to auto block, and I really didn't want her at 5 by the time I threw my SP2. Because right, if she had the armor ups, she could have auto blocked this. But look at that, 34 a tick, and there was another like 2 ticks coming. It's so much damage on that SP2. It's absolutely insane. So that was really good with her. Yeah, I kind of just zoom through boosts on this, but I take a lot of fights this war, so I'm kind of fine doing that. And MIBR is having a very, very good season, by the way. So like, big ups to them. They're top. They probably would be top 3 right now, but there's a certain alliance in top 3. So the rematch, the fated rematch, me versus Surfer. I don't have the Odin pre-fight this time, so it doesn't get nullified off of me, so I don't have that mishap at the start. But like, I think, I don't know, oh, I didn't cut it out, but I was like triple checking. I don't have an Odin on me for some weird reason, right? I don't have an Odin. So now I have the 4 neurotoxins up. Fight's done. I could have even dexed. I wouldn't have missed. It didn't matter. So now I'm at section, or not section 2. We're at the mini bosses now. And again, I was tagged and it was like, okay, we're ready to take the mini boss. It's like, oh, cool. Hey, I'll be right back. So I run away and I start to take my fights. I put on that regen boost because for some reason I wasn't too worried about this fight, I guess. Right, that's the boost I put on. I think I put on the regen boost here. Yeah, I did. So I didn't heal as much because I did that. I was like, I'm going to be healing a bit from regen plus the bleed from Horseman. So I accidentally dexed right at the start, again, kind of like that Invisible Woman fight. And then I have only 2 bleeds off my first heavy, and then no poison. Only 1 bleed, and I'm now starting to panic. I'm like, no poison. Okay, I'm at 6 bleeds now. I literally have to get it, so I have to block this. Okay, I have the 2 poisons, but then I see that I'm only at 1 neurotoxin when his filter should apply, but fortunately, the singular neurotoxin applied it. But now I dexed his SP1 because I also got the falter from the node from his buffs falling off, and I was just having super bad RNG on this. But by midway through or towards the end, I was able to start having better RNG. But it's actually funny that I had bad RNG on this fight now that I'm talking about it, because earlier tonight I was talking with some friends online about Archangel, and they're like, oh, he's RNG dependent. I'm like, can you please just stop saying he's RNG dependent? I swear, bro, he's not that RNG dependent. And I look back and I see that. So, when that Archangel fight ends, when I checked this, so I wanted to check this, because as I said, I was out, it's for someone's birthday. I left that fight at 7:48 on my editing timestamp, and I had to skip to 1850 to find this fight start. So I was just sitting there for like 11 minutes waiting. This fight goes super smooth though. I do that first parry and I felt I was a little bit slow on it, so I just backed off. Just want to play it safe. In my first 2 heavies, I get a lot of bleeds. That third one I could have gotten more, I feel like, but 2 is plenty for this. Oh yeah, my battery was running low because I was out for so long. And I had a feeling it was going to happen during this. That's part of why I was getting really antsy while waiting there. I was like, I can see my battery getting closer to 21, or to like 20, but there's nothing I can do. I have an invul on here, but I didn't want her to get to SP3, but fortunately she didn't, and I was able to finish it off, and I just zoomed out of the recording and just like ran out. This is actually my first time for sure as MVP number 1, I feel like. I think this is my first MVP number 1 for GT40. I think there's a war from like my first or second season though that I was MVP probably in, but I haven't gotten it too many times here, so it's really cool that I was actually the MVP for this one. I took 8 fights in this war, so that's a lot of fights. Usually we don't see that many. We actually had a couple people. I checked my BG. I was like, wait, how many did everyone else take? There's actually 3 of us that took 8 fights in this war, so it's a fair few fights. Usually in GT40 we spread it around pretty well. As I said, MIBR is having a pretty good season. 6 deaths is not too high. That's a very solid score. 3 is probably a little bit higher than we could have done, but that's fine. Like, 3 to 6, great score. Great job to MIBR. It was a very fun war. I hope you guys are having a good end to the season, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye.